The foundation of respect begins with you. Respect in the home is not something that magically appears. It is something that is cultivated, and the foundation of it begins with you. As a woman, as a mother, as the heart of your household, the way you carry yourself sets the rhythm for how others treat you. Children learn how to value you, not just from what you demand of them, but from what you silently model every single day. You see, self-respect is the seed that grows into respect from others. When you honor your time, when you protect your peace, when you speak with dignity, you are teaching your children without words how to honor you. If you constantly belittle yourself, if you make excuses for being mistreated, or if you give and give without boundaries, children subconsciously absorb the message that your worth is negotiable. But when you carry yourself with quiet confidence, when you show them that love is not weakness but strength, you set a standard in their hearts. They may resist it at first, but they will grow to respect it. Children don't only learn from what you tell them, they learn from what you tolerate. If you accept constant disrespect, yelling, or being ignored, they begin to see it as normal. But when you calmly and consistently show them that your role deserves honor, you create a structure where respect is natural. Respect doesn't come from shouting louder, punishing harder, or demanding attention. It comes from living in a way that commands honor without needing to beg for it. This begins with how you see yourself. Too many women lose themselves in motherhood, giving so much to their children that they forget they are more than mothers. They are women of value, women with purpose, women with dreams. A child who sees their mother neglect herself learns that she is unimportant. But a child who sees their mother care for her health, protect her emotions, and live with purpose learns that she is valuable, and therefore they must treat her with value. Spiritually, your self-respect is also a reflection of your God-given worth. You were not created to be overlooked, dismissed, or dishonored. You were created with purpose, chosen for a sacred role, and called to nurture with strength and wisdom. When you walk in this truth, when you stand tall in your divine identity, your children sense it, even if they don't acknowledge it immediately. Respect is not forced, it is inspired. And inspiration begins when you decide to treat yourself as worthy of respect. When you speak with kindness, when you set boundaries with love, when you walk with dignity, your children will eventually rise to honor you. Even if they resist now, even if they push against your standards, the foundation you are laying today will shape the respect they give you tomorrow. So remember this, respect at home begins with you. The more you respect yourself, the more you teach your children that honoring you is not optional. It is the natural response to the light you carry, setting boundaries with love and discipline. Respect inside the home begins with how boundaries are established and honored. Many women feel guilty when they say no to their children or when they set rules, thinking they are being too harsh or unloving. But the truth is, boundaries are not punishments. They are acts of love. Without boundaries, children grow up without structure, without guidance, and without a sense of responsibility. And without responsibility, gratitude cannot grow. A mother's role is not just to provide comfort, but also to provide direction. Children who live in a house with no rules or no clear expectations often end up confused. They push limits, test patience, and sometimes even lose respect for the very people who love them most. But when a woman stands firm with kindness, teaching her children right from wrong, she plants seeds of respect, not just toward her, but toward others and life itself. Think about it this way. Boundaries are like the walls of a home. The walls don't limit your freedom, they protect you. In the same way, when you set boundaries for your children, you are building a safe framework in which they can grow, flourish, and become disciplined individuals. For example, teaching them the importance of chores is not about free labor. It's about instilling responsibility. Saying no to excessive demands is not about being mean. It's about teaching gratitude and appreciation for what they already have. Children may not always like boundaries in the moment, but deep down, they crave them. A child who is never corrected begins to believe they are in control of the home, and that imbalance creates disrespect. But a child who knows their mother's word is firm, delivered with fairness and love, learns to honor her authority. Respect is born in that balance of love and discipline. Spiritual wisdom teaches us that even God sets boundaries for His people. He gives us commandments, guidance, and principles to follow, not to restrict us, but to protect us from harm and guide us toward a higher purpose. When women set boundaries in their homes, they are walking in alignment with this divine wisdom. They are modeling God's love through structure, discipline, and accountability. The goal is not perfection. No mother will get it right every time. Sometimes discipline will feel too hard, sometimes too soft. But consistency is key. When children see that their mother's word is steady, that she does not waver based on moods or guilt, they begin to respect her leadership. And here's the most important part. Boundaries must always be enforced with love. If discipline comes with anger, shame, or resentment, children may rebel or withdraw. But when discipline comes with calmness, explanation, and a firm but loving tone, children understand the intention behind it. They begin to see discipline as care, not cruelty. Respect at home is not demanded, it is cultivated. And one of the most powerful ways women can cultivate that respect is by standing strong in love and discipline. A home without boundaries will crumble into chaos. But a home with boundaries becomes a place where children grow into grateful, respectful, and grounded human beings. Teaching gratitude through everyday actions. Gratitude is not something children are born with. It is something they must be taught, nurtured, and modeled. A child does not automatically know how to appreciate the sacrifices their mother makes, the food on the table, or even the roof over their head. They learn gratitude when they see it practiced in everyday life. And it often begins with the mother because she is the first teacher, the first role model, and the first example of how to respond to life's blessings and challenges. One of the most powerful ways women can teach gratitude is by showing it themselves. Children observe everything more than they listen. If they see a mother constantly complaining, comparing, or expressing dissatisfaction, they grow up believing that nothing is ever enough. But if they see their mother pausing to thank God for the meal, for good health, for even the smallest joys, they begin to absorb that mindset. Gratitude is contagious. It spreads through example more than words. It doesn't have to be grand or complicated. A simple habit like saying thank you at the dinner table, acknowledging when someone helps around the house, or expressing appreciation for the day God has given can shape a child's heart. When a mother takes time to highlight blessings instead of focusing only on problems, she teaches her children to see life with eyes of abundance instead of lack. Another important step is encouraging children to express gratitude for what they receive. This might mean teaching them to thank their siblings for sharing, to thank their parents for working hard to provide, or to write thank you notes when someone gives them a gift. These small practices plant deep roots. Over time, gratitude becomes part of their character rather than a forced reaction. Gratitude also grows when children are reminded of effort and sacrifice. For example, if a child expects new toys every time they ask, they will not learn thankfulness. But if a mother explains that money comes from hard work, that every blessing has value, and that not everyone is as fortunate, children begin to appreciate what they already have. Allowing them to experience responsibility, such as caring for their belongings or helping with chores, teaches them that blessings require effort to maintain. Spiritually, gratitude is at the heart of faith. God reminds us again and again to be thankful in all circumstances because a grateful heart opens the door to peace and joy. When mothers teach gratitude at home, they are not just preparing their children for a better life on earth. They are preparing their souls for a deeper connection with God. A child who grows up practicing gratitude is less likely to be entitled, resentful, or careless. Instead, they learn to live with humility and appreciation. So mothers, remember this. Every small act of gratitude you model, every reminder you give, and every moment you highlight a blessing, it all adds up. Gratitude is not a one-time lesson, it is a lifelong practice. And when it begins at home, it transforms children into grateful, respectful adults who carry appreciation into every part of their lives, setting boundaries with love and firmness. One of the most misunderstood parts of motherhood is the role of discipline. Many women feel guilty about setting boundaries, worrying that their children may dislike them or feel restricted. But here's the truth: discipline is not punishment, it is guidance. Boundaries are not barriers to love, they are proof of love. When a mother sets healthy boundaries, she is not pushing her children away, she is protecting them, shaping them, and teaching them the value of respect. Think about it. A child who grows up without boundaries will believe the world owes them everything. They will struggle in school, in friendships, and later in work and marriage, because they were never taught self-control. But a child who understands limits learns responsibility, patience, and appreciation. Boundaries help children understand that life has rules, actions have consequences, and respect is earned through behavior. Mothers often confuse softness with love. Yes, a mother's heart is tender, but true love is balanced with firmness. Saying no when necessary is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of strength. For example, when a child demands something unreasonable, giving in may bring temporary peace, but it teaches entitlement. Standing firm, even when it upsets them in the moment, teaches resilience and character. Boundaries should always come with explanation. When you discipline your child, let them know why. Explain that rules exist not to punish, but to protect. For instance, when you limit screen time, tell them it's to protect their mind and their focus. When you insist on chores, explain that it's to teach responsibility and prepare them for life. Boundaries become meaningful when children understand the purpose behind them. Spiritually, even God sets boundaries for His children. His commandments are not chains, but shields, guidelines to carry. Keep us safe from harm. In the same way, a mother's boundaries mirror divine love. They are a reflection of care, of foresight, and of wanting the best for her children. A child who grows up in a home where boundaries are enforced with love will see discipline not as rejection, but as protection. Of course, firmness must always be balanced with compassion. A boundary without love becomes harshness. A boundary delivered with anger wounds the heart. But a boundary delivered calmly, consistently, and with explanation nurtures growth. Children may resist at first, but deep down, they feel safe when they know their mother stands firm. They may test limits, but secretly, those limits make them feel cared for. And remember this, setting boundaries is not just about managing behavior. It is about building respect. When children see that their mother values herself enough to say no, to demand respect, and to stand strong, they learn to respect her more deeply. They may not express it now, but one day, they will realize that those very boundaries made them stronger, wiser, and more grateful. So mothers, do not be afraid of firmness. Do not mistake discipline for lack of love. Setting boundaries is one of the greatest gifts you can give your children. It is the foundation upon which respect, gratitude, and character are built. Modeling gratitude and respect. Through your own actions, children may not always listen to what you say, but they will always notice what you do. A mother's actions are the most powerful teacher in the home. If you want your children to be respectful and grateful, you must first live as an example of gratitude and respect in your own daily life. Think about it. How do you respond when things don't go your way? Do you complain endlessly about what you lack, or do you thank God for the blessings you already have? How do you speak to your husband, your neighbors, or even strangers? Do you show kindness and respect, or do you let anger and frustration control your tone? Your children are quietly watching, learning, and absorbing these patterns. Gratitude is contagious. When you openly express thankfulness for even small blessings, like a warm meal, a safe home, or the laughter of your children, you teach them to do the same. If you constantly remind them, look at what we do have, instead of focusing on what's missing, you help build hearts that are content, humble, and appreciative. They learn that joy doesn't come from having everything, but from valuing what already exists. Respect is also learned by example. If you want your children to respect you, you must also respect them, not by giving in to every demand, but by treating them with dignity, listening to their voices and honoring their individuality. When they see that their thoughts matter to you, they begin to understand that respect is mutual, not one-sided. The way you treat others also teaches powerful lessons. If your children hear you speaking respectfully to elders, to shopkeepers, or to people in service roles, they will grow up doing the same. But if they see you belittling others or speaking harshly, they will adopt that behavior as normal. The home is the first school of character, and the mother is the first teacher. Spiritually, gratitude opens the doors of blessings. The scriptures remind us that those who are thankful will be given more. A mother who lives with a thankful heart, even in difficult times, shows her children that gratitude is not conditional, it is a way of life. This spiritual attitude shapes their hearts to see the hand of God in every situation and to grow up with humility rather than entitlement. It's important to also show respect to yourself. When you care for your health, speak positively about yourself, and hold firm to your values, your children see that self-respect is non-negotiable. They learn that their mother is not just someone who gives endlessly, but also someone who honors herself. And in return, they grow to honor you more. So if you want grateful and respectful children, start by modeling it every day. Live it, show it, breathe it. Gratitude in your heart will create gratitude in theirs. Respect in your actions will create respect in theirs. Remember, what you plant in your own life will be the harvest your children reap. Building a legacy of love, respect, and gratitude. Every mother dreams of leaving behind something greater than material possessions. A true legacy is not wealth, property, or titles. It is the character you instill in your children. It is the values, the faith, and the respect you cultivate that live on long after you are gone. And the most powerful legacy a woman can build is one of love, respect, and gratitude within her home. Think about this deeply. Long after your children grow up and create families of their own, what will they remember about you? They may forget the clothes you bought them or the toys they played with, but they will never forget the lessons you taught them about respect, the discipline you instilled, and the gratitude you showed in every situation. These lessons become the foundation upon which they build their own lives. Building this legacy begins with consistency. When you consistently show love, even when your children are difficult, they understand that love is unconditional. When you consistently enforce respect, they learn that boundaries matter. When you consistently live with gratitude, they realize that happiness does not come from abundance, but from a thankful heart. Children may resist in the moment, but these seeds take root in their souls, and with time, they will bloom. A legacy also requires intentional teaching. Don't assume children will simply pick it up. Speak openly about respect, why it matters, why gratitude is powerful, and why love must guide their actions. Share stories from your own life or from your faith that highlight these values. Let them see that respect is not just about obeying parents, but about how they treat everyone they meet. Teach them that gratitude is not only for blessings, but also for challenges, because even struggles shape their character. Spiritually, a mother's legacy is sacred in many traditions. The prayers of a mother are considered powerful, shaping the destiny of her children. When you pray over your home, when you speak blessings into your children's lives, you are leaving behind a spiritual covering that no one can erase. Your love, your sacrifices, and your prayers will echo in their hearts long after they walk out of your house. Remember this: children may not always show appreciation now. They may challenge you, resist your teachings, or even take your presence for granted, but the lessons you are instilling will never leave them. One day they will look back and realize that your firmness gave them strength, your boundaries gave them direction, and your gratitude gave them peace. They may not see it today, but tomorrow they will understand. So mothers, never underestimate the legacy you are building right now. Every hug, every prayer, every rule, every word of encouragement, it all adds up to a foundation your children will stand on for the rest of their lives. You are not just raising children, You are shaping future adults, future parents, and future leaders. And when they pass on what they learned from you to their own children, your legacy will live on for generations. Your value does not fade with time. Your worth does not diminish with age. The seeds of love, respect, and gratitude you plant today will bear fruit tomorrow, and your name will be honored in the hearts of your children forever. As we come to the close of this message, let us pause and reflect on the journey we've walked through together. We have spoken about love, discipline, gratitude, respect, and the power of a mother's influence. But above all, we have been reminded of one truth that cannot be shaken. A mother's value never fades. It does not depend on whether her children recognize it today or tomorrow. It is eternal, deeply rooted in the sacrifices she makes and the love she pours into her home. Motherhood is not about perfection. It is not about always saying the right words or never making mistakes. It is about showing up day after day with strength, with patience, and with faith. It is about guiding your children toward the right path, even when they resist. It is about planting seeds that may take years to grow, but will one day bear fruit. Yes, there will be days when you feel unseen, unappreciated, or even taken for granted. But do not mistake silence for lack of impact. Just because your children don't always say thank you, doesn't mean they aren't shaped by your efforts. One day, when life teaches them its own lessons, they will look back and realize that everything you did was out of love. And in that moment, their gratitude will flow, even if it comes years later. Your legacy is being written right now. Every time you stand firm in discipline, you are building strength into their character. Every time you model gratitude, you are teaching them to live with joy. Every time you show respect to them, to yourself, and to others, you are shaping how they will treat the world. And every time you choose love over anger, patience over frustration, and faith over fear, you are leaving behind something priceless. Spiritually, your role is sacred. The prayers you whisper when no one is watching, the tears you shed for your children's future, the quiet sacrifices you make daily, all of it is seen by God, and what He sees, He rewards. Even if people forget, heaven remembers. Even if your children take years to fully grasp your worth, your love will never return void. So, to every mother listening, stand tall in your calling. Do not let feelings of being undervalued shake your spirit. Know that your influence stretches further than you can see. You are shaping generations, even when you feel tired, even when you feel overlooked. Your voice, your actions, your prayers, they will echo through your children's lives and through the lives of their children after them. One day, your children will look back with tears in their eyes and gratitude in their hearts. They will remember your strength, your sacrifices, and your unconditional love. And they will honor you, even if they were too young or too blind to see it before. Dear mothers, your value never fades. Your worth never diminishes. You are the silent backbone of your home, the guiding light of your children, and the living proof that true love is eternal. Keep going, keep loving, keep building. Your legacy will outlive you, and it will be glorious,